Welcome back to the broadcast. Still with me, Honorable James Gakuria, Geoffrey Majiwa, and Irungu Woko as we proceed with the broadcast. And Mheshimiwa, briefly we take two stories from the papers and now we cross over to the discussion. Uproar over proposals to jail hustlers. A section of senators back bill say it will empower Cohesion Commission. This is information that we were treated to yesterday morning. The likes of Orengo say this bid to criminalize the hustler slogan is a betrayal to the long struggle to democratize the Kenyan state. And they say they want to make it look like it's causing division when it is not. You cannot stop an idea whose time has come. And the hustler narrative is just an example that we probably are using right now, the hustler versus dynasty. But such has been the case in as much as, you know, some of these slogans come on board to bring a lot of animosity and intolerance as witnessed as these different sides try to battle it out, you know, in the struggle of getting into the leadership position. Do you suppose that this bill is genuine? I'm sure you must have, you know, had a chance to look at it. And so the National Cohesion and Integration Amendment Bill 2021 that is crafted by Paul Koinange led parliamentarians or National Security Committee states that anyone who incites Kenyans alongside, you know, the hustler versus dynasty split could be imprisoned for 5 years or pay a fine of about 5 million. A person who has been dismissed or removed from office for a contravention of section 62(1) and 64(a)(1) is disqualified from holding any state public office.
Oh, Rita, let me say this. Before we start attacking or criminalizing or condemning some slogans like this one,
yes,
it's better to understand where we have come from. This country in 2007, we had two slogans. We had Kibaki's slogan, which was Kazi Iendelee. We had Raila Odinga's slogan, which was Kazi Ianze. And that Kazi Ianze, it destroyed this nation almost to the ashes. Then we come to the last election. We had NASA. NASA how? Who are those who have been NASA'd? So these are slogans which has obviously have been there before. To have an idea that, in fact, now the hustler nation is a narrative which is trying to create two edges, that it's a war between those who have and those who have not. To me, that is not the fact. But because this has touched the public and has touched these hustlers, these forgotten society down there very well, some politicians are very angry about it. And they must look for a way how to destroy it. And I have no problem because, one, the fellowship knows who is their shepherd. And therefore, whether it will be criminalized or not, we may stop that particular angle of slogan, but whichever other slogan that the shepherd will come with, it will still carry the day. Because what matters is how do you win your supporters? How do you bring together your flocks? And I believe that was the narrative by Deputy President. If the people think that actually it is becoming so popular and they think that this is a time to kill it, well and good. But the fellowship will still continue. Yes, whether it will die or not. Whether
under the hustler slogan or not. And so to speak, Goko, sadly enough is that in as much as politicians will always use these words as rhetoric, you know, just words to entice the supporters to their side, in most cases the supporters on ground, you know, get to that level of animosity and, you know, develop some rage against each other. And so maybe it is justified for NCIC to come with such, you know, rough measures to address the same.
That's a lot, leader. Let me say, a friend of mine called Simon Monene gave me his views about this. And what I'm looking at, like Mheshimiwa here is saying, I'm looking at a scenario where, like I said last time, the old might school of thought have not adapted to the new might school of thought. And you can have 1 million laws, but until you change the mindset, then you can have as many laws as you want. But until you change the mindset, that's when that law will make sense to everybody. The hustlers versus dynasty, the two words can be eliminated, but the mindset is what matters most. To me, the mindset is what matters most. And it's not a good move because we are setting a class war. We are setting a class war. We are setting a social gap. you are setting things the wrong way. But the mindset, and I repeat, the mindset is what is important. Because, like we say, there's the word, the constitution, the book, and the word, and there's the constitution, the spirit, and goodwill. What we need, and like you are reviewing earlier, when state and politics and government were separated by the constitution, the thinkers of that approach did not tell us how to bridge the three into one. So all these we are seeing are the gaps that emerged from the separation of power within the government itself. Because when a cabinet secretary cannot play siasa because he is not allowed by the constitution, yet the MP mwenye ako kwa siasa cannot do the role of a cabinet secretary. That gap is what is being seen today. That's why the politicians and the thinkers of hustlers versus the dynasty saw that gap, and they thought, how best can we use it to talk about ourselves? And they realized we can say, hao ni matajiri na sisi ni maskini. During the Kibaki era and the Moi era, when the cabinet ministers were drawn from parliament,
right,
it was very easy to put a cabinet secretary to a political task. But today, we cannot do that. And to me, the law, that bill can be there, and we can list so many other words. And I can give a clear example. When we listed the criminalization of the words like mungiki, sungusungu, and all that, it did not stop militia groups from emerging. They are still there. So, like Mheshimiwa Hafsa said, and agree with him, the law will go through, but another word will be crafted,
right,
and the supporters will still subscribe to it.
Okay.
So, to me, it's neither here nor there.
It leaves us wondering just what then a role will NCIC be playing and whether it gets successful with that role. But to drop that one into the last story that we'll be picking this morning in regards to the BBI. BBI gains speed as 6 counties give it a nod. Only one has said no to it. But even as we talk about this, there's this story that has been captured on the front page of the Daily Nation, one that got us, to raise emotions sometimes last week in regards to the car grant. And finally, the taxman eyes piece of MCA's 2 million car grant. But the ward representatives protest this move to tax the incentive that was given to them by President Kenyatta. Listen to that. They call it the incentive that was given to them by President Kenyatta to pass the BBI bill, saying it won't be enough to buy their choices or their choice of cars. Yes, as we close
That's
on
malice.
the papers.
Lina, that is malice. That's malice.
Malice from what they say, or malice from me asking you this? Yes.
First, the word car grant. The word car comes first. This
Yes.
is money that is meant for you to buy a car.
Right.
You are given a grant to buy a car. And when you buy a car, Linda, you pay tax. You can never be taxed twice on the
Okay.
same business.
Okay.
Yeah, so anybody who is thinking of taxing the car grant is really thinking outside the realities.
All right.
Yeah, because this is a car grant meant for a certain purpose. When you go to buy that car, definitely
be
later
taxed.
you'll pay tax.
So you
should
should
I
not-
pay tax now? And again, when I go to buy the car, I pay tax.
Okay.
Why pay tax twice? You can't pay tax twice in this country.
All right.
There are no such laws.
Do you suppose you'll be successful on this one?
That one is already something that is up and running.
Right.
Yeah,
And so you'll be able to challenge the taxman?
that cannot go through.
That one cannot be
No,
there.
that's a wishful thinking.
All right. Well, okay. We leave it at that. The BBI, the document seems to be doing so well so far.
Yes, it's a good document. It has to do well.
Oh, yes?
Yeah.
So
It's just a matter of
without
time.
doubt, we'll have
Yeah,
24 counties
it's
in
just a
those.
matter of time. It is only that it has a framework within which everybody should be done with it.
Okay.
But it's going to go through.
All right.
Majority of the counties will pass it.
Okay. And speaking about the legacy trends, we'll be looking at this one on ODM. And in regards to that ticket, Right Honorable Raila Odinga's party bombshell to new aspirants to get ODM ticket. They say they must resign as civil servants by August, and they also must be life members. I don't know whether you had any interest you had, thoughts of shelving your interest to pick up the challenge of going it as a presidential candidate? Not just yet, yeah? Not just yet. So do you suppose it's unfair for the people who probably could be having interest and not lifetime member parties? Anyway, we'll be asking some of these questions as we proceed with the broadcast, because I'd love to understand what really goes in there, and I'm sure the common Mwananchi equally would love to understand in terms of getting these preferred flag bearers. But first, let's listen in to some bites here that will kickstart or that will help us shape the conversation this morning in regards to the legacy dilemma.
Wakati Uhuru Kenyatta alikuwa anahitaji rafiki wa kusimama na yeye, wengine walisema yeye ako na kesi, wengine wakasema yeye hafai kwa sababu baba yake alikuwa rais, wengine wakasema hafai kwa sababu yeye ni mtu wa kutoka Central. Lakini mimi nilisimama na yeye wakati alikuwa anahitaji rafiki. Nilisikia mtu ya kitendawili juzi anasema wheelbarrow ni takataka. Mimi nataka nimwambie, we my friend, wacha ukumbavu, aje upuzi, ajue wera ni wera.
Kenya hii tunataka amani na tuweze kuendelea pamoja. Mkenya awe ameishi Mathare, awe ameishi Zaweri Gatondo, awe ameishi Kisumu, awe ameishi Mombasa, awe ako na haki yake kama Mkenya ule mwingine. Na hiyo ndio lengo la BBI, kuhakikisha ya kwamba tumesawasisha wananchi wa jamhuri. Kuhenyo irumana yatirimye ndiramwenda aramwenda nako aramwenda ke mwiraga murumi arenge iyo niyo njira ya ukuria bururi andu aitu please, andu ni mokire, andu ni mambirie gwiciria niki giki turerwo. Mimi napendanga haki jameni, mimi sina madharau na mtu, lakini mimi napenda haki. Huwezi kuja upande moja unatusi na upande mwingine unasema angalia. Unaangalia nini umefanya? Kama mwingine kitu ni moja, we are either together or we are apart. But you cannot come and take credit and then at the same time insult those you are together with. Does that work? Ati wewe duka yako wewe.
All right, is the hustler narrative, is the DP running a parallel government? If not so, as he declares that he's part and parcel of the Jubilee government, is he distracting the moves of his boss, Honorable Gakuya?
Linda, first and foremost, let us confine ourselves into what the Jubilee Party of today looks like. Right. The Jubilee of today is a party that's been led by a Secretary General and few. Is a party that has totally sidelines the rest of the stakeholders. And let me tell you, I have been always repeating saying, political parties are like companies. Companies are registered and shareholders are part and parcel of their deeds out of that particular company. In this particular case, Deputy President killed his party and the other parties also died to create a political party known as Jubilee. But today, those who lost their parties are no longer given a chance in the management of this political party. Okay. At this point in time, I will tell you that we are just near to an election. And I am sure that anybody who has known all the stubborn issues within the political parties known as Jubilee is very clear in his mind that the Deputy President may not be comfortable with a candidature of this party if he is intended to contend for president in this particular country tomorrow. One, the signs are very clear that the party may not even clear him. In this particular case, if you want to start a journey for tomorrow, the journey must not start tomorrow, must start today. Okay. Therefore, what the DP is doing is preparing himself, gearing himself to 2022 politics. And let me tell you, there are two different things. There is what we call the government. He is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, and he is articulating his duties as required by the law. And the president has not assigned him any particular duty where he has failed to articulate it. The deputies, including the deputies of governors, have no duty in the constitution. Their duties are delegated by their bosses. And if your boss has not assigned you to any particular duty, then you are dutiless. You can just walk into office and read the newspapers and walk out. Right. Take tea and walk out. Okay. And I can tell you as of now, the duties of deputy president were taken over by Matiang'i. Matiang'i was given what we call executive minister, yes, to take the issues to do with opening of projects, the assignment that was done by the deputy president there before. And therefore, I can tell you the deputy president is very idle. And what would he be doing in the office? He must be strategizing himself in what of his future politics, since he has no future in the Jubilee Party.
Well, if today I come into the office and I'm told, Linda, do not host morning cafe, just sit in the office, day 1, day 2, day 3, 1 week, I will start questioning, what is the problem? Is there something that I've done wrong? I will go back to my boss and ask them, is there no assignment for me? Why is it that you're not awarding me an assignment? Do you think the deputy president has complained to the president that he's probably been left without an assignment?
That's leader. Let me first send my personal message of condolences to the family of the late Senator Yusuf Haji. Right. He was my boss at the BBI task force. Yes. And he was a good man. We can talk so much about him. And on the question you asked, I would say we are lying to ourselves. Because when the deputy president took over office, the constitution defines his roles. Like I repeated here 1,000,000 times, he has never in person complained of being denied his duty. He has never in person complained about being underfunded. There's a PS in the office of the deputy president. So wherever we are talking about saying that he has been denied his duty, like Mheshimiwa is saying, is just a fallacy. And what the deputy president is doing is he has been unable to understand that the new constitution gives a deputy president specific roles and mandate. Him being a student of Moi, I see a replica of who Moi was when I was a young boy. Because Moi loved traveling, talking to people. Ruto loves traveling and talking to people. Even if you give him roles, I can bet you he'll chair that meeting in the shortest time period, get into the next chopper, and go out. I'm yet to read anything official that these last 2 weeks he chaired a meeting on county government allocations. That is his constitutional mandate. The roles Mheshimiwa is saying that were given to the CS Interior are not constitutionally allocated under the DP.
Okay.
It's just a cabinet role of coordinating cabinet. It's not coordinating government. It's coordinating cabinet secretaries, and the PS Interior coordinates at the PS level. Why? The ministry they had is called Ministry of Interior and National Government Coordination. So it is practically being told, all of you are cabinet secretaries, but since I need a leader among you, and I don't want it to be a roadside declaration or just a word of the mouth, I've given a presidential order giving administrative powers to CS Interior, even if his duty is that. When we say that the deputy president is running a parallel government, I would say deputy president is running a parallel Jubilee Party.
Okay.
Not a parallel government.
Well, of course, definitely not a parallel government. Coming to you, Honorable Majiwa, we're talking about the legacy, and President Uhuru Kenyatta at some point has acknowledged that, in a huge way, there's some people who've tried to frustrate his move of attaining his legacy. And today he speaks of a scenario where he is still determined to at least, leave something good for the people of Kenya. incorporating the CSAs as we have seen in terms of this. Why is he leaving his DP out of this? Do you suppose he's seen some tenets of a person who's not capable of delivering, and hence the reason?
Well, when I look at Uhuru, I see somebody who had discovered that he was conned.
Okay.
So he's trying to recover from the conmanship that he was operating with.
How is that conmanship? You've just had the DP acknowledging that, you know, when he needed friends the most, they were not there. I mean, wasn't that reason enough?
He should also tell us he needed the friends, but at what cost was he there himself?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, we live around, all of us. We know what takes place at night and during the day.
Okay.
So he should also tell Kenyans at what cost, because it has also been said in the media here, we have been told that there was some payment made. Right. So that was not something we should look at, that he was the only one.
You'll tell us whether there was some
we have been told.
In fact, let us not indulge what we cannot be able to give facts.
Substantiate.
In fact, Linda, if a deputy president tells you something that happened in government, you'd want to believe it.
Yes.
Similarly, if the vice chairman of a party tells you what happened in the party, you would want to believe it. So we have been told that there was some payment. And we saw it happening. Nobody denied. So if nobody denied and the party leadership said it, then we believe it is true, it happened. And so when we talk of the roles that are being taken from somebody, I don't see any role that is being taken from somebody. Just like he says that just the other day, the DP was sharing a very serious meeting about revenue allocation. And that is his role. What seemed to have happened is that Uhuru discovered that in the year 2013, 2017, he left things, and then that is where he was conned his power. Because if you remember, there was a time, a member of parliament for Gatundu, Nani Kuria, he was drunk in some village in Gatundu at night. And he was openly saying that he supports the DP because the DP is the one who brings development to central Kenya. I think you remember that.
Yes.
He said that he supports DP because he's the one who brings development to Kenya, and he does not support Uhuru because Uhuru takes development elsewhere.
Okay.
And then after that, DP appeared somewhere and said, "Mimi ni mtu wa mkono wa Uhuru." He said those things.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And Uhuru, the president acknowledged the same.
Yes.
And said yes.
So Uhuru has just discovered that mtu wangu wa mkono ananilagai.
All right.
So he wants to do his jobs himself.
Has he discovered a bit too late?
It's a bit too late, but it's not so bad because Kenyans are now coming to terms with the reality.
Okay.
Because you see now, when now Uhuru goes out, he discovers that any time he took an opportunity to send somebody with any government projects, then that project was used to radicalize the central Kenyan youths. If you analyze this, even this Hustler Nation thing, you realize that it is deeply rooted in Central than any other part of this country.
Okay.
Why is it so? Because the members of parliament who came from Central, most of them believed in this movement they had with the DP. When Uhuru gave them projects to take there, they turned them into their own, and they used those same projects to radicalize the youths of Central. So these members of parliament from Central, even if you see DP going around the country with other members of parliament from other regions, they are not as staunch as these ones from Central of Kenya. Because these Central of Kenya MPs are the ones who believe in the Hustler Nation because they know the secrets behind it. And it is good to say the truth. We are facing an election, and what we are looking at is a situation where somebody will now ask the youth to go to the streets that no Fulani, Fulani, no peace. No Fulani, Fulani, no peace. Because they are made to believe that this Hustler Nation must only be led by so and so. You know that Hustler Nation has one leader.
Yes.
They have not talked of any opportunity that they are going to do any nomination for anybody. No.
Right.
They have one leader who is undisputed. The rest are just followers who are supporting him wherever they are. So it is something that is obvious. Even when you see parliamentarians trying to do their job, you know, the work of parliamentarians is to legislate. If they start thinking of how they can legislate around these slogans in politics, it's not a problem. It is their work. They need to legislate. So I don't see a problem in Uhuru doing his job and letting his deputy do what belongs to him. We should not cry. Uhuru now is looking at his legacy.
Okay.
And he has seen somebody was messing with it.
All
he has
right.
taken up, though slightly late, but he's trying to catch up with time, and that's why you are seeing him a lot these days. He's going everywhere.
And do you think he's going
recover.
to achieve that, Mheshimiwa? We're coming to you. And maybe just pick up that conversation or that beat where we talk of what has been declared, that maybe there were some payments that played out for the DP to come in support of President Uhuru Kenyatta. At some point in time, you have seen most of the leaders or allies to the DP arguing that, you know what, it is time that the president pays that particular debt. And then slowly by slowly, the two gentlemen came to a point where they acknowledge there is no debt that is in existence. And in politics, we equally know that these payments play out. Do you suppose then that the actions that we witness today justify that utterance that there could have been some, monies that were exchanged?
Rita, first and foremost, let me distance myself from that particular angle, that there is a saying or any claim that actually there was a dowry paid for the deputy president to support the cause of the President Uhuru Kenyatta. What I am very much aware is that there was an arrangement between two gentlemen who were in a critical position by then, because their necks were under what we call chains at Netherlands. And actually, that particular case that emanated during their tenure then brought them together. And I can tell you their cause healed this country, because in the Rift Valley, the Kikuyus and Kalenjin were not seeing eye and eye. But let me tell you, coming together of the deputy president and President Uhuru brought what we call calm in that particular area, and at least there was a continuity in life there. I would say any payment that was paid, I don't totally want to distance myself, and I would say anybody with the fact must put the facts on the table, because there is such an issue that I am aware of, and I am more inside in this than Majiwa. So when Majiwa want to tell us that actually he's very much aware, I think he can put his facts on the table, but we cannot operate on a hearsay, because actually propagandas have been created and many have been created, but they are neither here nor there. In the issue, an element of the leadership between, or the departing leadership between the head of state and his deputy, let me say this. There is no single day that the deputy president has ever moved to Central Region or any other region of this Republic of Kenya owning a project as if it's his own contribution. Anything that he opens in the Republic of Kenya is a project of the government of the day. And this is what has been happening. If the president was not comfortable with that, then it is like, yes, he realized that the deputy president is becoming so popular by opening this project. And at a certain time, he decided to terminate that particular procedure. And after terminating it, that did not stop the popularity of this fellow. This tells you that that was not the cause. And therefore, the president is now looking to another angle to still push or terminate the popular of this fellow, which is now the Hazara nation. And I can tell you, even though he comes in with this particular angle of bringing laws and what not to terminate this, I am telling you the fellowship will still move on. Because when time comes, and good times come for whether people like you or not, I would say, in issue to do with the leadership, it is the people and God. If the majority of Kenyans will decide it is Ruto, nobody will say no. The president is in the record saying he's not going to leave the country to this. And I can tell you for sure, Linda, remember the Ponte Prato, when Jesus was crucified, he asked the public, whom do you want to be released? They said, release Baramba. And what about this fellow? Crucify him. In this particular case, the Kenya will decide. If they will decide for him, they will go for him.
All right.
Yes.
So who is this thing that we're talking about here?
Let Gakuya not mislead you. Because Gakuya must know that one Moses Kuria is closer to DP than him. When Moses Kuria goes out there and says the projects belong to the DP, Gakuya has no business disputing that, because that man is closer to DP and he's done more work to DP than him. Gakuya is just starting the other day. And Linda, let me tell you,
there was nothing that was done under the carpet that we don't know.
It is open. It is an open secret.
More than ours.
Moses
Kuria has just come to Jubilee through handshake.
The president seems to know
he has
how
found us here.
You know what Gakwe is forgetting?
Yes.
That is telling us here today that the unity between the DP and Uhuru brought peace in this country. What he's forgetting is that the handshake brought even more peace in this country than ever before.
The handshake has been blamed for causing trouble in Jubilee. Before
that is their narrative.
Yes.
Because it has now made them not rob Uhuru the way they were robbing Uhuru.
Okay.
Because Uhuru was actually under arrest.
But today we are missing nothing.
All right.
We are losing nothing and we are missing nothing.
But Kenyans are losing so much.
Uhuru under arrest. And Uhuru has just escaped from the arrest.
Okay.
So he's now outside there and about doing his job. So that is where the problem is, because these fellows, Uhuru gave them an opportunity
I
which they
believe what
squandered.
Majua and his team of handshake should be doing is to assist the president to do what they think that the deputy was not doing.
Instead,
that's why they came in. They came in to assist him. Yes, but they should not always.
We are not in government. We are not in government.
Let's have
we are
not much capability, and we
are
acknowledge that
we are not in government. They cannot. We are not in government.
The DP is as well in
We are not in government.
The DP is in officially.
We don't even have one single cabinet minister. Gakwe does not know how the government is formed. The government has structures. We are not in any government structures.
We have Senate. They are now under the control of the ODM. These are not the case. What are the government you want to be?
We have a clear structure of a government.
You have taken the control of the National Assembly.
Let's have
how
order.
are we the government?
You see, the only way that people are able
government.
to hear what it is, they are, you're not in government, but they say you're in. They are as well in government.
It is their failure.
They are as
their
well in
imagination.
government.
You know, when they are failing, when Uhuru has discovered the wrong things they were doing, Uhuru is now like giving them no opportunity to do the wrong things.
Yes.
They want to blame it on Raila because they think Raila has opened Uhuru's eyes.
Since
but
they are
Uhuru
given
has just
opportunity.
discovered the things they were doing to him.
Who's playing? Who is the question that we still have? Let's allow Goko to come in.
Since they are given opportunity,
yes.
this him assist the head of state to seal those points that they think the DP and his team are not doing.
All right.
We are already out.
Then get out of the government. Get out of the government. Don't fear arrest. They should get out of the government. They should not fear arrest.
Let's allow. Yes.
It's very easy to play politics with things that we see. But it's always right to speak things that are true. Yesterday, all this has been there. And Mheshimiwa Gakuya here is saying that ODM is in government. Mheshimiwa here is saying ODM is not in government. But what is government? Government is an administrative unit of a ruling party. So Jubilee Party has government today. What is opposition? Opposition is the second most party that does check and balance in government. Now, what Tanga is not accepting and owning up is that the contemporary ways of opposition have moved from the confrontational days of demonstrations to the modern days of policy. Because we have seen ODM support government when government is doing right. And we have seen ODM put government to task when it's not doing right. That to me is what we call modern opposition. Because opposing each other is not a business of agreeing and saying yes or no, or having a single song of no, even if when it's right. And that's what the president brought into BBI. He said, where we've moved from the ideas of blood, I'm an ODM member, I see nothing good in government. To a nation of ideas, I'm an ODM member, yes, but this government is doing right, and this government is doing wrong. We've seen ANC and Wiper restatements bringing government to task. What the deputy president and his team wanted is a political confrontation of every day in, day out. And that's what ODM denied them.
Wouldn't you want the same if you feel at some point that maybe the agreements that you had or the hopes that you had are being quashed by some level of change?
And I've repeated here, can Tanga or whoever they are, can they give us in writing, all on principle, that when ODM came, we had budgeted for 10,000 kilometers of road. But now they have reduced it to 6,000.
Okay.
When ODM came, we had 18 cabinet members. Now there's a cabinet reshuffle, and 6 of our members were taken away and replaced with ODM member. When ODM joined hands with the president, because let's look at, we forget very fast, before handshake, there were demonstrations every day. Before handshake, business were going down. Before handshake, the unity of purpose was not there. Today, this country has a unity of purpose that anyone
segregates
can go
a certain...
anywhere. Anyone can go anywhere. But let's call out as it is. The politics of street politics Monday to Friday is what Tanga misses to face off with ODM. It's not that ODM interrupted government. It did not.
It is in the capacity of ODM, or Right Honorable Raila Odinga, to try and create more peace, or so to speak, in the event that there is some level of, these voices that tend to dissent what it is that is happening. Don't you think they are justified to proceed and say that indeed ODM came in to distract activities in the government? Because in as much as we're talking peace, within Jubilee Party there is no peace.
Jubilee Party lacked peace, not because ODM went in. No.
What can they do in their capacity?
They lacked peace because
Yes.
some of their members disobeyed their leader.
Okay.
It's that simple.
Let's allow Honorable Majiwa to come in. Let's allow Honorable Majiwa to come in. At what yes.
At what capacity?
It's also very clear.
Yes, let's
that
have the microphone.
If you look at all this, you realize that the peace that is not in Jubilee Party is because of the dishonesty among their leaders,
Okay.
who are working with Uhuru with a lot of dishonesty, and because they had put Uhuru under arrest because we helped you get this seat when everybody else left you, now you have to do what we want. And what they wanted Uhuru to allow them to do was not so good for Kenyans, so they were actually having him under arrest. So the coming of handshake and Honorable Raila has given Uhuru some backing to make him now say, no, that is wrong, this is right. So the only mistake
What are
they
some of
seeing,
these things that we're looking at that would probably be pointed and we say that, you know what, as this Tanga side, they were trying to misguide the president. They were directing the president, in a direction that is not wrong. And why is it that it has taken so long for the president to come out and acknowledge the same?
it took him so long because actually when you get the first election, you tend to be calm so that you get the second one. That's the nature. Politicians.
Let's have the microphone.
Their nature is that when they are elected and there's another election coming ahead, they want to be smart boys so that they get the next one. And Uhuru, because he knew he wanted the second term, he did not want to get into trouble with these fellows. So he allowed them their way to do what they wanted in the name of supporting him to get the second, even getting the second election, which we are now seeing them making noise that they helped Uhuru get the second election. We have also been told that it was stolen. Themselves, they have told us it was stolen. So they only helped Uhuru steal. They didn't even help him genuinely to win.
Okay.
So it's not even something they can claim, come out here and claim that they did something to Uhuru. They have come out here and told Kenyans openly that we stole this election. Nobody won the election here. They have told Kenyans here that Raila has been winning this election from 2007.
Okay.
They've told us.
Why would Raila be very comfortable working with someone who stole?
Because he's a peace-loving guy. He's a peace-loving guy, yeah.
Is it so?
He doesn't want to create more problems. That is why he even went to Uhuru Park and saw himself, and again went back and
that was peace-loving?
Shook hands with Uhuru.
Okay.
Yes, to demonstrate that I had the people. Because he had the people.
Okay,
and
hold it right there.
In Uhuru Park.
All right, people are watching. We have a couple of messages coming in. And JT says that these guys are not new in Siasa, or he wants to believe so. Because in Siasa today you say this, the other time you say something else. So today, is such the case. He says it's the very same case with President Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto and all these other leaders. It's got nothing to do with political debt, has got nothing to do with who robbed who or what is robbing him or who is not doing what. And we all agree to that.
Leader, what my take in this is that we are, on the onset, it is not explainable by anybody. At what point did the Tanga faction denied the government its due at any moment? If it is bills of parliament where the government wanted support and whole support, tell me any single bill that was dropped by the faction of Tanga because of politics. or tell me any single budget, national budget, that was never successful because of these political wars. This tells you that no single government schedule has ever been distracted by the factions. It's only that, let me tell you, when you are not comfortable, you must talk. And politicians must talk because actually they are elected to speak on behalf. And when they speak, it does not mean that that's criminal. It's not. But you cannot just blame them and tell them you have denied the government to work. How? Just prove. Tell us our duty is to, one, represent, register it. Tell us whose registration have we failed to register it for on behalf of Kenya. Tell us in a single one. We are in here. We have what we call the pandemic issue. The handshake is inside. We have created billionaires in what we call KEMSA. The ODM is not speaking about it, not talking about it. They are telling us that actually they speak when things are wrong. What about this one? They are not speaking about it. They are silent. Is it because they are compromising with it or what? So if they are serious supporting the government, why are not criminalizing things that are going wrong today in the same government?
All right, Goko.
No, it's that simple. It's that simple. And that narrows down to what I'm saying. We have seen Deputy President launch non-existing projects. Not in the budget, not in the not in the said ministry.
But we have also seen President Uhuru Kenyatta saying, ukiona hii jamaa inarandaranda huko jua, he's been sent by me.
Yes, but you see, if you said a reporter here to go and cover a specific news, they can decide to cover others. So until they come back with a report, then you can say, I sent you to do this, not this and this and this. That aside, the role of ODM is not, and I'm supporting ODM here because I'm looking at ODM as all NASA as the political, as the opposition coalition. We have a history of putting checks and balance to specific people. So the idea of I'm in government, I'll still until the opposition speaks. The issue of KEMSA is not under ODM. It is under the Constitution of Kenya.
But you also agree that minus the handshake, ODM would be making noise, so much noise in regards to these two.
Why make
enough that they would have, yesterday I had legislators here and they have acknowledged.
The same way they made noise about Eurobond, the same way they made noise about Aurora and Kimarer, and nothing happened.
If today,
let's agree that it's not as much.
You see, Linda, what you must understand.
They have gotten to that point, they have realized it's not happening.
What you must understand is the elements of peace. When now you are saying somebody we want to work together,
you shelve the negatives.
You have to tell them that this thing is wrong. Okay. It's not the same way you'll tell them when you are far away from them. When you are far away from them, you'll tend to shout because you are not near them. Okay. But now when you are closer to them, you have an opportunity to tell them this thing is wrong. Fix it up. And that is what we have been doing. Every scandal in this government, we have talked about it. We have not been keeping quiet. Only that the tone that we are using now cannot be the same because we are closer to them.
There are voices that speak that you have also been part and parcel of this scandal of KEMSA that we're talking about.
We have given them an opportunity to table the evidence. If they talk of somebody being part of what, they have not tabled anything.
For the very same reason,
we are told them who are making noise here are the ones who are part of that scandal.
That's what I'm saying. And we as Kenyans must shift our mindset to the contemporary government, to the new ways of government, new ways of politics, because
even when they're not working, even when the debates in parliament are not as healthy
why we have BBI today is because from 2010 to 2020 we have discovered some of the laws that we made cannot work in the modern way. So that way we are shifting some of them. One of them is the corruption cases. They have a time frame. Others is once you are implicated, you have to step down and your case has to be heard within this specific time. If we wait for opposition to speak, just because we in government cannot speak, and I don't see why a Jubilee parliamentarian cannot point out theft in government just because he sits on the government side of the floor. There's nothing. Oversight and registration are not restricted to which side of the floor you sit on.
I had members of parliament here and they said that sadly that is what happens in parliament today, that you
Yes.
speak on basis of what party you align yourself to. If you
That
go
is
against that
happening-
particular party,
That
you
is
are
happening in
cracked.
parliament today
Yes.
because Kenyans voted the wrong people.
Did we vote the wrong people in you, Mheshimiwa?
I believe no. The answer is no, because for sure, Kenyans choose from a list. And let me tell you, in any contention leader, you find that there is no single person who sails through unopposed. There is always a contention. And therefore, it's the duty of the Wanjiku to choose amongst the list. And therefore, you can't stand here to tell Wanjiku choose the wrong people. Wanjiku choose the right people. But let me tell you, micromanagement of this of these members of parliament is on the high gear as far as the prosecuting issues of the house are concerned.
Okay.
And I can tell you, Rita, today, one is that ODM has taken away the chairmanships of most of the committees which are supposed to be dealing with witch dogs of these particular areas of corruption and everything.
Okay.
You find that they are the people sitting on these particular dockets. They are doing zero in terms of prosecuting these matters. Who else? Where else? Where else?
Can you give us one case where they prosecuted when they were
Let's
sitting on
allow-
those positions?
Tell us.
Tell us one case
No,
where they prosecuted
no.
a corruption case
Let us
when
be-
they were sitting on those committees.
Let us be told. Let us be told.
committee?
No.
Which committee in
No.
specific?
Let
Let's
us
hold
be-
it. Let's allow him to speak. Yes.
Allow me, give me a time.
Yes.
Yes. We have two committees, which are very pertinent committees in the House. Those two committees belongs to opposition.
Okay.
Are they
Yes, they
responsible
are.
for corruption cases?
They are.
Prosecute corruption cases? Are those committees responsible for
These,
prosecuting corruption
these
cases?
are the committees that are enthroned
That
by the
someone-
Constitution
yes.
to take charge of any wrongdoings.
Did you
within the-
prosecute any corruption case during the time you were sitting on them? Because there has been corruption all along. Give us an example which you did during the time you were sitting on them. Don't blame ODM
Probably
now.
I have not been a member of the two.
No, your people. You are talking on behalf of your people. Your party. Tell us, those who are sitting in those committees, did they do anything that you can present now?
But
I
we
can
cannot
tell-
look
yeah.
at what
I can
happened
tell you-
negatively and stick to
I
that.
can
The
tell
reason
you-
why there
No,
was
no,
change, but
but
no,
that PSC
the reason why there was
that-
change is because
that
there was
PSC
need for
committee-
them to do something. And
that
so,
is
not
if
happening.
That PSC
if nothing is happening,
committee-
even with
that PSC
We have the
committee,
pack. We have the
today
pack
on
and pick.
newspaper.
The PAC and PIC are the two
Yes,
entrusted
PAC.
committees to deal with these issues to do with
that are not doing
corruption.
No,
what is
but-
expected.
But I can tell you, they are zero rated. They are as if they are not there.
So they're as bad as it was when
I can
your
tell you,
people
it's
had
better.
the
It's better
dockets.
when the matters were there before. This is their law, and as matter the constitution, whether the government is Jubilee or
Yes.
ODM,
Okay.
the two positions go
Linda.
automatically goes to
Linda.
the opposition.
Linda.
But
Linda.
I am telling you,
Is Gakuya- is
they-
Gakuya-
they have not-
Let's allow him to finish. and
they
then we'll
have
come to
not
you.
been seen working or doing the right things they are supposed to be doing.
Yes.
Yes.
Linda.
And I can tell you, if we are failing because actually the parliament, those committees are asleep.
And so if they did not
Linda.
do what they were expected
Linda,
to do then,
what
Honorable
Linda is
Najwa,
telling-
allow me to ask this question. If they did not do what they were expected to do back then, and then there was change of guard, and these other ones came on board, it is because we were seeking to see change. So if we do not see this change again, we question.
How long is that supposed to happen?
All right?
Yeah,
Page
that's the
12.
question.
Page
How
12.
long have they been there?
Okay.
That is the question.
These
And
committees have been there.
Gakuya
It
should
should
tell
start
us.
working
Gakuya
instantly.
should tell
Page
We've
us.
12.
seen people with
Page
change
12.
of guard and people
Yes.
start working instantly. Page 12 of
Page
what?
12 of the Standard newspaper.
Yes.
Today.
Yes.
No, let's talk with facts. CS Karaoke in a spot for spending 2 million
Yes.
on toilets and catering.
Yes.
Go to paragraph 3. Members of the Public Account Committee yesterday. So we are talking about hearsays.
Yes.
This is the same pack Mheshimiwa here is saying they are not doing their role. Yet they have invited a CS of cabinet to answer to expenditure.
Right.
So what other role are we expecting PAC to do in parliament?
Okay.
making recommendations after hearing these issues. Where are their recommendations?
Where are the recommendations?
Well, Linda.
Yes.
Recommendations cannot come before the inquiry is closed.
All right.
Yes. We have to close the inquiry, then we do a recommendation.
And we are asking- we are asking-
Most cases it's
we
even
are
been
asking
hard
those-
for inquiries.
those-
But
those-
what Honorable Kakuya is not telling people
Yeah.
that even in Parliament there are so many recommendations which are just catching
Their hands-
dust.
yes.
There are so many,
Yes.
and he should take his position as a member of Parliament in the floor of the House
To
and
question
ask
why.
those committees why they are not working. That is his job.
All right.
He's telling Kenyans he's failing.
Okay.
Yes, and by
His job
virtue,
in the
and
floor of
that's
the
what I'm
House.
saying.
That
They
is what
say
he
they
should
have
be
been
doing.
micromanaged
No.
in a
He
huge
should
way and
say
that
in the
they're
floor
not
of the
able
House.
to. Yes.
Let us see him in the floor of the House.
And that's
That's
what
what
I'm
saying
saying.
that.
And that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
All right.
This politics ya barabarani is what we are very good at. Because when we go to what needs to be done, we don't do it. But when we step out, yesterday the PS Interior said on a vernacular station he was, that Honorable Kangata lied on microphone, that he was told to apologize. Yet, the meeting that was attended by the Jubilee parliamentarian and representatives of government, nothing of
That
such
was
happened.
Division Auto Matiang'i.
Yes.
Yes, the PS. So, if the PS was not bold enough to come out clean, the whole world would have known that Mheshimiwa Kangata was de-whipped for not apologizing.
Yes.
That is what we must call dishonesty, is what we might call out.
Right.
Whether in government or whether in opposition, for the goodwill of this country, we must start for what is correct and what is right. And the moment they start seeing, and like I said, the politicians saw a gap that they were good to maneuver around. And that's what they have been using to lie to people. You one day wake up and say, Uhuru akushinda. The following day, you wake up and say, oh, now we did this.
Yeah.
Oh, this is not right. Yet, you are saying the president has not done anything, and you are stepping on a tarmac that has been built by the same president. Just because
So you're
there's no
confident
cabinet
that,
secretary
that-
in that, there's no cabinet secretary in that entrouge at that moment to
that-
respond.
Okay.
There's no PS in that entrouge to respond. There's no CAS in that motorcade or in that church service to respond. And that's where the gap is. And the reason why the president could have sent his cabinet out is for that purpose. Even if quite a number of them have no political background, but it's for the good and the will of the people. What Tanga parliamentarians are not accepting is they abandoned their duty to support the president and embarked on a new journey to create the next
Honorable
government.
William Kafogo speaks to the DP, in his own wise words, so to speak. He says, it is time that you also go out there and fight, because from Central Region, let nobody lie to you that you will be given this as expected. And so don't you think it was justified for the DP to start these early campaigns, having been told by one of their own that, if you're waiting, I'm afraid you will not be able to get something. After all, we all have interest. Honorable Majiwa, I know you have your own interest for that matter. And so politicians are paid to politic.
But Linda, that is the truth. Even Honorable Kakuya, my friend, knows how Kikuyus change last minute.
All right.
Yeah, we have done politics with them.
Yes.
So Kabogo only told Ruth
The DP
Ruto
the truth. So what is wrong with him going out there and trying
going
to...
out there to start campaigning?
Yes.
Simply get out of the government, because the government is supposed to be working now. The government is not supposed to be campaigning now.
Okay.
If he's inside the government and he goes out to campaign, let him leave the government kabisa, so that we see him campaigning. Nobody will quarrel with them.
BBI and
because they'll be using government resources to do their own personal campaigns.
BBI, pushing for BBI is a state project. So if that's a government project, that is for the sake of the common Mwananchi, is what we elected Jubilee to bring us.
That one is a project for peace.
Okay.
Yeah, peace initiative for the country is a very important project for the government.
Okay.
Government must have peace to work for the people.
All
They
right.
cannot work for people who are not at peace.
These
Yes.
are politicians,
Right.
and they always talk with double edge. Now, when it's not on their favor, they deny.
Okay.
When it is on their favor, they support. In this particular case, what is so different between rhetoric of political gatherings all over advocating about BBI scenario Are those not politics? Are they not waste of time? Are they not disorganizing people? If really you want to say that Deputy President is the one who is causing trouble because he's doing other politics, and his politics are only during Sundays, where do you want him to go? Where do you want him to go? Let me reader, listen to me. Deputy President, wherever he has been going because there is an open, either a handing over of a project or commencement of a project.
What project?
What project? Order. And in that particular project, you cannot give people only a food for project. Yes. You must also give people a hope of politics tomorrow. In terms of Bama politics and the Githurai politics, these are different scenario, because the president opening the doors for politics. When he opened the door for BBI, it's like giving what we call an open check to every politician. Yes. Move to politics, and there's no way you can tell us we have a referendum in this particular year. It tells us this is a political year. Next year we have a general election. It's another political year. So who is that fool who is still in the house, just expecting you to give him a license to start politics?
BBI is not a political process. It is a constitutional process. And the BBI report, the 200 plus pages, covers so many points, so many recommendations, a 9-point agenda. Linda, I sat in 90% of the BBI task force meetings. And the 9-point agenda, in the committee, there were only, I think, 2 politicians, Senator Amos Wako and Senator Yusuf Haji, and Mheshimiwa Women Rep Samburu, if I'm not wrong. The rest were clergies, elders, and constitutional experts. At the Secretariat, Ambassador Dr. Karau was not a politician. It is a state project, which is a constitutional process.
It's equally a political process.
So, constitution is a political affair.
Yes.
Constitution is a political affair.
Right.
So, when we talk
then
about...
where does the politicians come in? If the process was
the politician comes in because
they have to push for this.
One of the recommendations involves a constitutional amendment process.
Yes.
That's why we have the county assemblies today. That's why we have everybody on board today. So, but that hypocrisy of hiding, and like the president have said, and even the principal Raila Odinga said, kuna tofauti ya BBI na 2022. So we cannot marry the two just because we want to be seen to be part of it.
But BBI is going to determine what game we will play.
BBI will come and go, but this nation will remain. 2022 is one of the many elections in this country which has happened in the past and will happen in the future.
Honorable Majira.
I want to tell my friend Honorable Gakuya to just keep calm. Tell his boss to keep calm. You know, they always want to enjoy what people have worked for. Now they're enjoying the seat of the DP. They opposed the constitution in 2010, but now they're enjoying a creation of that constitution 2010. Then they were opposing, telling us we can amend another later. Now time for amending has come. They still want us not to amend, but if we amend this one tomorrow, they'll be the beneficiaries. So we ask them, just relax. We are going to create for you things that you like the one you are enjoying now. We created it when you did not want it. So this constitution, we have to amend it anyhow. It's not about time. It is time for us to amend the constitution, because constitution is what guides us in this country. But we have to make it right. If it is not right, we can't be right ourselves.
Shall we be always mutilating constitution because of failure to accept the verdict? Yes, because all these are shenanigans created by lack of accepting defeat.
And who is enjoying the seat today? Who is enjoying the seat today?
Linda, I can tell you.
They are not even enjoying the seat. They are dying in there.
Tell them to walk out.
Not wrong.
Tell them to leave.
It's not wrong when actually I can beat you using your own game.
All right.
Yes. But you enjoy peacefully.
After all. Gentlemen, I'm surprised the time is over. I am surprised. 30 seconds. I am surprised myself.
30 seconds.
Yes.
30 seconds. I'd want to pay legacy to Senator Yusuf Haji once again.
Right.
He was a good man, and all of us here may be a joint part and parcel of his work. And if we look at things the way he looked at them, because I worked with him for a
Wind
year.
up, yes.
And if you look at things from the way he looked at them, at one point in Northeastern, he told the elders that if we don't allow the women to speak in our presence, that our children will suffer as the whole nation moves forward.
Yeah.
So it's the same ideology I
Right.
want to live today with. If we don't allow our youth to speak in the presence of the elders, then the future of this nation is at risk. Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Honorable James Gakuya, Member of Parliament, Embakasi North, Honorable Geoffrey Majiwa, Deputy Speaker of Nairobi, and lastly, Irungu Goko, Governance Expert. It was good having you. Time has flown just like that, and we have not even touched on some of the things that I wanted us to touch on, but all the same, it was indeed a good discussion this morning. We're crossing over to a different one altogether after